No Julius Randle, no problem. I got a few more price picks I think we can take advantage of with him being out. Let's go. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's Craig Bennett, aka Cash Cake, back with another NBA Prize Picks video. If you haven't checked out that early video, I'll link it at the end of this one. But man, a lot of those lines have already moved. I had 3 of them that were all New York Knicks plays, and they all were not Julius Randle. So hopefully you were able to get on a lot of those early when I posted that video, as a lot of them have moved 2 to 3 points already with Randle being out. So hopefully, hit that follow button, subscribe to the channel, and most important, turn on the notification bell so you know when I upload these videos, because you could have took advantage of some of those plays early, and hopefully they hit for us, and we'll just keep this train going. Again, yesterday wasn't too bad. We went 6-3. I talked about it in the early video. We just missed on Mobley, but Garland went absolutely nuclear. So did LeBron James. Hit on Durant over assist, Levine over assist. We missed on Porter Jr. and Rozier points, rebounds, and assists. One more piece of injury news that did just come up. Zach LaVine is questionable. It does look like they pulled the Chicago guys off the board. So we'll have to look and see what they come back on, because there might be a few plays we can take advantage of Chicago. But with no Julius Randle, let's check out and see what we got today. All right, once again, NBA Prize Picks desktop version up here. If you want to use the app, they have a sweet app in their Google and Apple store. We'll talk through and give you some analysis on all these plays. Hit that like button for me if this information is useful for you at all. Again, use it. Play these guys, fade them. I just want to give you as much information as I can in a short amount of time, so you can go about your day and utilize information as you see fit. So again, I got 4 plays on tap here. We'll talk about each of them. And I got one that directly impacts the Randle news. The other 3 picks that I had this morning video were all definitely too low now, and they've all moved up 2 or 3 points. But the first one we're going to talk about, points, rebounds, and assists. And this is actually some injury news as well, and I feel like the line is way too low. And we're going to come over here, and we're going to go to Drew Holiday, over 30.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Yes, if you look at this, he has only hit it in once over his he's only hit it once over his last few games here. But I believe, with Chris Middleton being out, that number is going to shift a lot. Let me hold on one second. Let me pull this up, because I thought I had, yeah, he's only hit this in once over his last 6 games here. But again, it's a situation where no Chris Middleton, he should have to continue to do real well. If we look at the stats with Chris Middleton out, Chicago is ranked 15th in points allowed, 9th in rebounds, 17th in assists. They played worse. Caruso's back, but I think Levine's going to sit with him being questionable for injury management. That's never a good sign. But the last 5 games with Chris Middleton being out, he's put up 36, 28, 44, 50, and 31 points, rebounds, and assists. So I take that back. He's went over this 4 of his last 5 games at this number with Chris Middleton being out. I think we're going to see something similar here. He's going to shoot a little bit more. Everything's going to go up, and he's crushed this number in 3 of those 5 and just sneaked over it in the Pelicans back on January 1st. So I love this over for Drew Holiday. I think it's way too low, and we should take advantage of it here. Again, another one I did kind of look at, I was looking back and forth. Bobby Portis always loved to play Chicago. This is not an official play, but one I was looking at his points, rebounds, and assists at 24.5, or his points, because he does love to take a lot of shots. And with Middleton out, maybe we see a few more shots out of him. So 14.5 points feels about right. He's only put up 12 points in each game against Chicago this year. But with no Chris Middleton, he could take a few more here. And if Bobby Crazy Eyes Portis gets hot, he can put up a 20 spot at any time. So one guy that you might want to look at, but I'm not going to be an official play. Just one that I was doing research on this afternoon and kind of wanted to mention him. The next one we're going to look at here, we're going to go over to points. And we're going to come down in this nightcap game with Denver. And we're going to go Bones Highland, man. 11.5 points. We're going to take the over on Bones. He's been playing a lot more minutes lately, averaging 26 minutes over his last 5 games, and he's hit this in those 5 games in 4 of his last 5. Going up with the Clippers, the juice is on the over around -115, -120. The Clippers are ranked 11th in points allowed. Now, Denver's a 7-point favorite with a 222 and a half over under. Man, I can't speak today. And I think that even if this thing gets blown out by Denver and if they put it to him, we're still going to see it just helps Bones Highland here. So I love this number for him. I think it should be closer to 13 and a half with the juice being on the over, with the matchup and his minutes continuing to go up. There's no reason we shouldn't see Bones Highland get over this number as long as he's doing well. In those 26 minutes in those games he's had, he's took 8, 13, 10, 14, and 12 shots. And so as long as I'm getting a guy with 11.5 points and he's taking that many shots, I'm going to go ahead and play him. So Bones Highland over 11.5 points. The next two we're going to look at here, again, like I said, I only have 4 official plays. We're going to go over to first half. And if you noticed, if you watched my early video, we had first half as well. And I guess it's 3 plays because there's 2 I kind of was on the fence with, and maybe you can decide what you want to play here. And again, I love this guy. He's been doing really well, but I was nervous on it. I had a couple guys in the comments mention about it, so I was like, hey, let me dig in a little bit more. And I think I found, I think I agree with some of the takes, and the first half is the way to go. So I'm going to give you some numbers here, pulling up the first half, and we're talking about Wendell Carter Jr. 8.5 points, and I also like not just the points, but I also like the fantasy score at 17 fantasy points. So I like both of them here. He's been really hot of late. If we look at the points that he's put up, over, the last, let's go back to 8 games in the first half. He's put up 13, 14, 16, 8, 8, 11, 8, points. So he's went over this mark in 4 of his last 6 games in the first half here. And he's just missed it, by a half in each one of those other games. And he shot 22% in that game that he missed against Minnesota. And then the game against the Pelicans, he just missed it. Just didn't put up a ton of shots here. So I'm kind of on the fence what I want with points or fantasy points. I feel like fantasy points might be the way to go because he does get a lot of rebounds. And 17 fantasy points for him. He's went over it in the last 5 games. And we can go further back than that, even from the Pelicans. Played Phoenix before that, put up 19. Indy, 21. Indy again, 22. So he's went over this in really 8 of his last 8 games, and it's just talking me more into playing the fantasy points more than the regular points. Even though he's a shooter, he does get some rebounds, he gets some blocks, he gets some steals, and all that adds up. So I think here for the official play, we're going to play Wendell Carter Jr. over 17 fantasy points for the first half. If it does get out of control, maybe he doesn't play a full game, but I feel way more comfortable taking a first half bet on a guy like Wendell Carter when he will see his run. And maybe this is the way we look going forward at looking more of these first half plays and don't have to worry about the blowouts as much. So we're going to take Wendell Carter Jr. over 17 fantasy points. If you want to take the points at 8.5, I get that too. But I think I'm going to lean here after looking at the numbers a little bit. Then the last one we're going to talk about is, again, fantasy points. And we're going to talk about R.J. Barrett. Again, Wendell Carter Jr. is out. I looked back and pulled up the games that Randall was out. And the 3 games this year that Randall was out, he's put up 13, 21.5, and 21.8 fantasy score here. One of them was against Milwaukee, the other one's against Toronto, and then one was against OKC. But again, these were back on January, December, and then it was actually last year with March 27th when he did that against Milwaukee. But again, he's been playing really hot as of late anyways, and having Julius Randle come off the court, it's only going to, increase his usage and the way he's been aggressive. He's been super aggressive. If we just look at, the last few games here, look, he's won 3 over his last 5. And if we go back even before that and before the Memphis game, Dallas, he put up 22.1, Sacramento, 25.7.5, Clippers, 33.6. So if we look back at that, he's put it over 6 of the last 8 games. I do like this RJ Barrett. I prefer the half than I do the full game at 20 fantasy score. So if we look at it, those are the plays that we're going to go in this afternoon. We're going to go Drew Holiday over 30.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Bones Highland over 11.5 points. Wendell Carter Jr. over 17 fantasy score, and RJ Barrett over 20 fantasy score first half. So remember, these last 2 are NBA first half picks, not full game if you're looking for them. And again, if you want to look at taking a shot at maybe some old crazy eyes, Bobby Portis, one of my favorite players in the NBA. I just love the way that guy plays. If you want to take a shot on his over 14.5 points or 24.5 points, rebounds, and assists, I don't mind that. I kind of lean the points more now that that Lopez is kind of in the fold. You know, so I think I'll leave if you want to take a shot over 14.5 points, but not an official play. So with that, I hope you guys enjoy your Tuesday. We'll see what that Taco Tuesday is gonna, you know, the chef over here at Prizepicks, what they're gonna, you know, make for us, and we can, again, Tuesdays at Prizepicks is always golden because we can just basically get a free play most of the time and pair them with one of the plays that we have. And I preach all the time, 2 and 3 man power plays is the way to go here. That's how you make your bread. Again, mix and match these. I got 5 in that early video, but 3 official plays, so check that out. I will link it right now, and I will see you guys on the flip side. Deuces.